This is Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. I'm joined by training Jamie Moore up here in Manchester. Jamie, it's gone eerily quiet in the gym now, but how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks mate. You?
All good. Obviously, we're here today for Chantelle Cameron. She's only a matter of weeks away from her undisputed bout with Jessica McCaskill. First, the most obvious question, Jamie, how's this camp gone so far?
Yeah, of course. Everything's gone great. She's in great shape. She's waited for this undisputed fight for a long time now, and you know, it hasn't come in the way we thought it was going to be in Cali-Reese. But nevertheless, Eddie's delivered, and it's Jessica McCaskill, who's an undisputed champion anyway in her own right at welterweight, and is coming back down. So it's all the makings of a fantastic fight.
How did the McCaskill fight come about, Jamie? When you kind of look at the options and where you was looking to go, how did you end up with McCaskill ahead of any other names, and obviously the Cali-Reese situation?
Because, Jessica McCaskill had been talking about coming down for a while. She originally, Chantelle was mandatory for Jessica at super lightweight. When she first got made mandatory, Jessica decided to move up to welterweight and has become undisputed there, but then always apparently had the plan of coming back down. So that's where we're at. I mean, like I say, Chantelle was in a tournament for Matchroom, and Cali-Reese was in the final with her. Unfortunately, Cali's not been able to fulfil that fight, and she was gracious enough to give the belts up and put them on the line so that they could fight for the undisputed. So, you know, I'm assuming the winner is then going to probably box Cali-Reese if and when she's back fit. But this is a fantastic fight. It's all right. It's probably stylistically a better fight on paper because of the way both girls gel.
Talk to me about that stylistically. As you mentioned, Jessica McCaskill, an all-action fighter. She won't shy away from getting stuck in. How do you expect Chantelle to approach this fight?
Do you know what? I honestly believe Chantelle can beat Jessica McCaskill in any way she decides to. You know, obviously we can't be stupid. We can't take too many risks. But don't sleep on Chantelle. Don't think she's just, you know, she's a boxer. She's proven that she's a well-schooled boxer. But she's never really been taken to the point in a fight where anyone's pushed her. And I know for a fact that's going to happen in this fight because Jessica McCaskill is a phenomenal pressure fighter. She looks raw, but she's cuter than you think, and she can punch, and she's going to bring it to Chantelle, and I know that's going to bring the best out in her. She's got like a devil streak inside her, and as much as I've been able to sort of get her disciplined and get her boxing and control it to a certain extent, anytime I sort of let her off the leash and go, well, listen, go and do your own thing now, she has this like psychotic smile on her face, and she relishes that, and I've said to her, in this fight you're going to have to just respond naturally. You know, you won't have time to think. She's going to bring it to you, and you're going to have to do whatever comes naturally, and she's more than capable of winning this fight in any way she wants.
One name which has always been linked with Chantelle is that of Katie Taylor's. Now, I know you won't be looking beyond November 5th, but if Chantelle's successful, she becomes undisputed champion. Do you think that edges ever closer towards a potential fight with Katie Taylor?
I think that then, in its own right, is one of the biggest fights what's ever happened for women in boxing, because you've got two undisputed champions fighting each other. So, you know, Chantelle's always relish that challenge of trying to get the Katie Taylor fight, as does everybody in and around that weight division, because she's such a phenomenal fighter. But now Chantelle's going to find herself in the position where actually Katie Taylor will probably want to fight Chantelle as well to challenge herself. So, and I understand it in the past, Chantelle was mandatory for Katie at lightweight, but we sort of got the vibe it was never going to happen because the risk-reward didn't make sense. Everyone's always known how talented Chantelle is, but she didn't have a world title then. She was a challenger. Now she brings something to the table. So the risk-reward has come full circle, and now, after November the 5th, when Chantelle becomes undisputed, it then becomes marketable and makeable, the fight, because it makes sense then.
Away from Chantelle and obviously the Katie Taylor talk, Aqib Fiaz also boxes on that card. How excited are you for him now to kind of be able to push on and get back onto his boxing journey? It's been a very difficult year or so for Aqib. Obviously, thoughts continue to go out to him and his family, but we saw him back in the ring recently. He's going to be back out again soon on November 5th. Yeah,
of course. It's about getting momentum for him now. He didn't box for 12 months, and he's been through a horrendous time, him and his family. So yeah, it's good to get him out there. him and Chantelle are really good friends, obviously gym mates, and it's good to have people around who you have that good vibe off and sort of create a good atmosphere. So yeah, I'm looking forward to him getting out there and performing, and I think early next year we can start to look at him moving up. He's not been matched easily. He's not been matched with your typical journeyman, Aqib. We matched him a bit stiffer than you would do because I wanted to progress him, and he has progressed nicely. And I think this year now you'll see him sort of coming out of his shell, and he'll be involved in some good fights, and I think we can start moving into our titles this year.
Josh Taylor, Taylor-Catterall, to Jamie. Obviously, reports coming out early February seems to be in the pipeline. Can you confirm or deny anything for us?
Well, I just know that all parties have agreed the deal, it's just a matter of getting it signed and stuff. So I won't believe anything until it's all announced officially, because it's dragged on for that long. But by all accounts, everyone's agreed, and it's just a matter of getting the paperwork signed and stuff. So if that's the case, so I'm not involved in the negotiations. I'm the coach. So all I've been told is that all the deal's been agreed, and once it's announced, then we can look forward to it.
Can you at least confirm kind of early February's the timeline?
Early February they're looking at, yeah.
On that note, looking towards that, it will be about 14 months if it happens in February since the first fight between and then the second one. 12 months. End of February. Sorry, I'm getting my dates confused. But yeah, 12 months on, a year on. How detrimental can that be to either fighter, especially with Josh when in the first fight there was talk about his weight and what have you?
Yeah, listen, I think it's not as bad for us as it is for Josh. Jack was out of the ring 16 months going into the first fight, so obviously nobody wants to be out of the ring that long and go into a big fight like that. But we was in a situation where we'd waited that long. Beggars couldn't be choosers. We're in the same situation now where we want the fight, and we've just had to hang fire. Jack could have boxed in the summer, but we got told the fight was going to happen in November, and we didn't box for that reason, and then it's just dragged on. But you can't change that now, so there's no point in complaining about it. And the fact of the matter is, Taylor-Catterall is one of the most disciplined athletes I've ever come across. I've been in boxing 30 years now, and I've never known a fighter at his level be in the gym as often as him and keep his tools as sharp as he does. So he spars once a week, every week, and he can afford to do that because he doesn't take barely any shots because his defence is that good. But that means that his timing, his distance, his fitness doesn't really drop below a certain level. So he doesn't have to, box regularly to keep his timing and distance. He gets it in the ring every week. So the length of time in between is not as bad for us, I believe, as it is for Josh.
What do you make of Josh Taylor's link up with Joe McNally?
Well, listen, I said if somebody feels like they've got to leave the coach, then regardless of whether everybody else thinks it's right or wrong, or whether they think the link-up works stylistically, if the fighter believes they need to leave, then they should leave because something's not right. And you're never going to get the best out of a fighter if they feel like something's not right. So I don't know how it'll work with Josh and Joe. I know Joe's a good lad and he's a good trainer, but not everyone's made for everyone. So I don't know. You're asking the wrong person. All I know is, regardless of what happens in their camp, won't affect us whatsoever. All I'm going to do is prepare Jack for the best Josh Taylor I've ever seen, and then we'll deal with it on the night.
Away from that talk, just get your thoughts on a few other things before I let you shoot, Jamie. Fury-Chisora 3 announcement seems imminent now. It's not one which has kind of got the juices flowing, shall we say, in the boxing community, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, same. I wanted, obviously, the AJ fight. I said when there was in negotiations, I said I'm glad it's going to happen because if it doesn't happen now, I don't think we'll ever see it. I hope that's not the case, but I've just got that feeling that we've missed the boat with that one now. And listen, nobody's screaming out for Tyson Fury, Fury-Chisora 3. Let's be honest. But I've got a bit of a soft spot for Del Boy. He's been such a good character on the scene over the years, and I think Fury, this is like a gesture from Fury, I feel, where he's going, do you know what? Let's give you one last big payday, send you off into the sunset with a few quid in your bank. And he's making history as well. He's the first heavyweight champion ever to do 2 trilogies. So it's not ideal. Would I prefer to see Joshua? Of course I would. But I'd prefer to see that than Char.
Just on that note, away from, say, Joshua-Usyk, who else out there would you have liked to have seen Fury potentially have faced? Joe-Joyce seems to be the consensus, certainly amongst British fans. Away from that, maybe Andi Ruiz is the other one which I've seen mentioned.
Andy Ruiz, I would have liked to have, without a doubt, I'd like to see Joyce. And he is the dark horse in the division, without a doubt. You know, you look at him, and you know, he's not aesthetically pleasing, but wow, can he fight? And he's probably the only heavyweight who can possibly beat Tyson Fury. And you know, I know in terms of experience in the pros, he's not where you'd think someone should be to be able to do that. But he's a massively experienced amateur, and age-wise, you know, he's getting on himself, so he can't hang around. And I think Fury knows that. Fury knows that he's his toughest test out there. You know, the size of him, the work rate. I think his punch power's underrated. I think he really is, but because he sort of labours with it and is methodical, he doesn't really put snap in his shots. But he's still heavy-handed, and I'd love to see that fight. I think Fury v Joe-Joyce is a fantastic fight.
Deontay Wilder returned with a stunning first-round knockout victory this past weekend, Jamie. Where does he stand now in the division?
Mate, he's always been there or thereabouts, hasn't he? And I think it's a sign of how good Tyson Fury is, as to how he dealt with Deontay Wilder. And let's speak about Tyson Fury's chin, for fuck's sake. Wow, you know, the amount of people we've seen Wilder, you know, put out cold. To see Fury get up, not once, not twice, but 3 times against Wilder is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I was ringside actually when Wilder knocked Ortiz out, and I still to this day have never heard a shot as sickening. The sound was horrible, like someone dropped a brick on the floor, and so I can't. You know, Fury's chin is phenomenal, and you know, even now, you'd probably say Deontay Wilder is the second best heavyweight in the world. And if it wasn't going to be Tyson Fury versus Joe-Joyce, I'd like to see Deontay Wilder versus Joe-Joyce.
That's the fight everybody would love to see, Jamie. Do you think Joe's chin could stand up to Deontay's right hand?
If I had not seen Tyson Fury get up, I would be saying anyone who Wilder gets on the floor won't be getting up. So Joe-Joyce has got one of the best chins I've ever seen in my life. So has he potentially got the chin good enough to get through there? I'd only say yeah because I've seen Tyson Fury get up, but it's a big ask because he takes him so clean. Even Fury took in the first fight, that left up what put him down would have put anyone out. But Joe-Joyce walking through a Deontay Wilder big right hand, I wouldn't put my house on it.
Just a couple of final ones. Obviously, this weekend we had a huge historic moment for British boxing, or just boxing in general, rather. A huge all-female card down south in London. Just get your thoughts and reflections on it. Shields Marshall, what did you make of it, Jamie?
Unbelievable fight, great advert. You know, I said before, we need to get away from going women's boxing and men's boxing. It's just boxing, and the only way we do that is get to 12 threes for championship fights. But you know, one step at a time. You know, an all-girl card at the weekend, massive step forward, and an advert for boxing in general. The chief support and the main event, unbelievable.
How did you score both fights, Jamie?
I had Michaela Mayer just nicking the co-main event, but I can't argue. Could have gone either way. Depends stylistic, what you prefer, and it was close. I scored Clarissa versus Savannah 8-2. There was a couple of rounds which was sort of in the balance, but in general, I just thought it wasn't. This isn't a slight on Savannah, because I thought Savannah's intensity, work rate, determination was unbelievable. But even more so, Clarissa Shields' skill set really surprised me. The way not only did she sort of defend and counter attack and go through the phases, she even got on the front foot and sort of took the game away from Savannah early on, which I think upset their game plan. They didn't expect us to do that early or at all, and you can't fault Savannah's determination. It was unbelievable, but what a performance by Clarissa.
Final one, Jamie, before I let you go. Kell Brook's back in the gym. Talk of a potential return from him. Would you be happy to see him back?
I ain't heard that one. But
what have you heard then?
No, I've not heard that. No, that's what I'm saying. That's the first I've heard of it.
We saw him back in the gym. Potential names of Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith being mentioned.
Right, so he's coming back at super welterweight then.
Or middle if he was to fight Junior.
Right, okay. He's a big boy, Kell, isn't he? So he should, for the last few years, he's probably should have never been anywhere near welterweight. Anyway, it's probably down to his discipline and dedication. But listen, if Kell still feels like there's life in the old dog, then why not? Him and Liam Smith is a fantastic fight. I'm not sure about middleweight. That's probably a step too far. But I think stylistically, Kell Brook versus Liam Smith is an unbelievable British level fight.
Right, John, we'll leave it there now. Leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for speaking to me and ID Boxing.
Cheers, pal.